the lovely and wonderful Tzeentch Marine. He is coming along very nicely. I love how the effects on the gun came out. Very happy with how he's looking. Overall, I cannot complain. And we started last week with some of the leather. Make sure that the music is gonna keep rolling through. Okay, the music is gonna keep going through. It's on shuffle. Alright, cool. Alright, so today we continue to work on all the leather. Let's see. Did I get everything? No, I did not. I'm still missing that handle on the gun. I plan to make that look like the nice leather that the rest of the leather part's gonna have. Again, this is a kind of bespoke weapon. So we should make it look as nice as we can. We still have a lot more to go as far as the weapon itself. Look at all those cables that still need some loving. So we're not quite done just yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and work on that bit of the leather there. Again, what we used last week was Galvorback Red. We have Swamp Crabs saying hello, hello. How you doing, Swamp Crabs? How you been? What you been working on? Alright, so up for that, because it's gonna be a little tricky. Should use a brush with a very nice and fine point. So I'll probably use my size 1 Da Vinci. And for those of you who are not aware, my latest Rosario rant, or in this case Rosario reviews, came out on Squidmar's book, The Pass of Sona. So check it out, let me know what you think. And we have 78 Rose saying hi, Rosario. How you doing, 78 Rose? How you been? What you been up to? I am really hoping we can be done with this model today. Cause I actually have a commission I gotta start working on. And there we go. Already looking very nice with that color. Swampcraft says, doing well. Been painting the same knife for 2 weeks now. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Those guys have a lot of cams to get through. How long do you think it'll take for you to finish? And Sonny Rose says, doing okay, getting over being sick. And Mitch says, hours, I think? I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling sick. Hope you feel better soon. Swampcraft says another week at my rate. I feel that. I feel that very well. Oh, I have been working on this guy for, as of now, feels like ages. 70 Rose says, how are you? I'm doing really good. I'm really happy with my newest video that came out. And very happy to work on a commission. So hopefully I can finish with this guy since I've been working on him for forever and get started on that commission. Alright, now that we're done with the Galvorback Red, we'll be using Word Bearer's Red. We're gonna probably stay with the same brush, the size 1 Da Vinci. Simony Rose says again, how are you? How are you? I'm doing good. I'm not sure if you caught my last one. Hopefully, the stream is coming in okay. Let me double check. Seems to be going okay. Alright, let me get back to my camera. Here we go. And Citadel says, sorry, must have missed your response because of commercial. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm doing good. Very happy with how this guy's coming along. And kind of excited that I'll be working on a commission. So that's how I'm doing. Yeah, I like how this color combination works so well. It's a bunch of reds, but it gives it a nice sort of reddish brown that I think contrasts very well with all the blue and gold. But what about you, 7A Rose? What you been up to? I mean, I know you said you're not feeling sick, and I'm sorry that you're feeling sick. Are you working on any new projects or anything like that? And War Dog Hero says, finally I can catch a recital painting stream. Hey, welcome, welcome, War Dog Hero. And thank you very much for the comment on my newest video, the review for Persona. I'm glad you liked it. Tyrell says, went back to an intricate paint by number that I haven't made time for in a while. Nice to make progress on it again. Ooh, nice. I'd love to see it if I get the chance. Yeah, if you ever post it up anywhere, let me know so I can show it on stream. And War Dog says, the least I can do as a long-time lurker, lol. Hey, I appreciate it nonetheless. And we have the God Emperor man saying greetings. How goes the God Emperor? How you been? Oh, and before that, War Dog says, had to finally pay the viewership reds. Okay. But yeah, God Emperor, how you been? What you been up to? Hope all is well. Hope the Astronomicon is holding strong. Okay, so we have now put that War Bear's red on there. And Samuel says, okay. Hey, I look forward to seeing it. And the God Emperor man says, driving at the moment. Oh, really? Oh, hold on. Somebody better call the Great Knights. The God Emperor is off his chair. I repeat, the God Emperor is off his chair. But yeah, where you going to, God Emperor? Alright. I think maybe some more Fang Brown? Yeah, let's do some more faint brown. And Guyperman says home. Oh, nice. Home is where the heart is. And Slopecraft says, I'll start calling him now. We might not have to call him if he's heading back home. He's going back to the chair. War Dog says, after finishing the suppressors, going back to working on the elves from the Age of Sigmar Spearhead. Put these guys off for so long, way less fun to paint them over my rats that I love to no end. Which elves? The Sylvaneth or the... why am I drawing a blank on the regular ones? The new high elves. Lumineth? Lumineth Realm World? Is that what they're called? War Dog says, not only is the God Emperor of the throne off the throne, he is texting while driving. Hey, I'm pretty sure he is texting with his fingers and holding the steering wheel with his mind. He is a psyker after all. Pretty sure the God Emperor can multitask. Alright, so we're staying with the same brush. We're gonna try some more faint brown for some edge highlighting. And God Emperor Man says, I was visiting an old worker at an old folks' home. Oh, that's nice of you. God Emperor Man says, yes. And the word always says the Lumineth. Yeah, okay. This might not be strong enough. Okay, it's showing a little. And the War Dog says, of course, how could I ever doubt the God Emperor? Yes, how could you? Heresy! Okay, yeah, that's coming along nicely. Yeah, I'm liking how that's looking. There's some really nice color changes there on that brown. And the God of Man says, I have taken the golden goose from Big D. That's his van, right? By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's quite a few new songs. As of late, I've been updating the playlist. Been getting some copyright claims lately, and I'm like, alright, enough of that. I got up where a man says, yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we can start using some extreme highlights. Clean up the brush. And I need some form of brown. May Bugman slow, but we'll see. Yeah, I feel like I might go with Bugman's glow. Make sure I got the right Bugman's glow. Okay, I think this is the one that's... not working, so let's move it to my pile of shame. Alright, there we go. Now we can mix up the paints. Yeah, because it's a little congealed. There we go. Now, fortunately, I spilled some of my Tesseract glow on it, so at least on the outside. Fortunately, it didn't get in. Alright, so I need... Where's my quintuple zero Marie? There it is.
New donation from Mask.
Oh, thank you very much for the donation. Okay, will that be visible? Okay, I think it is. Yeah, look how nice that glows. And we have Taki 99 or 999.54 saying the wolf is back. Hello, how you doing, Taki? How you been? Yep, that is the right color. And Taki said, is that a Stormbolter? No, it's not. Stormbolter is, if I'm not mistaken, those are the ones that are dual barreled. The double barreled bolters, those are the Stormbolters. And Taki says, I'm doing well. Yeah, what have you been up to? I feel like it's been a while. We're now doing some edge highlighting with some Bugman's Glow. And that leather is looking very nice because of it. And Taki says, I made a God of War inspired Knights of the Round Table, Roundel, for the Space Wolf grape companies. And then he says, just jogging and work. Ooh, I'm actually very curious about that Roundel you're talking about. If you got any pictures, please let me know where I can find them. And how far do you plan to jog? Hopefully I'm not distracting. I know that when I go on a run, I need total concentration. And Tagi says, it's the thing I sent you. It must have been a while ago. I'll have to look it up again. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I don't quite remember things. Then Tagi says 5 kilometers every day. Ooh, very nice. Hopefully you're not running too much on concrete or asphalt, because I've heard that can actually mess up your legs a bit. There we go. Look at that nice edge. And we have Tequila Shot Ryan saying hello. Painting looks good. Thank you very much. I'm actually really happy with how it's looking right now, especially the edge highlighting I'm doing for the leather. But how you been, Tequila Shot? I just saw you released your newest model. Looked very cool. And Taki says, sorry, but wait, sorry, boss is calling. Gotta go. Bye-bye. Hey, you take care, Taki. Say hi to your boss for me. And Tequila Shot says, doing well. Very nice. Happy to hear it. For those who don't know, Tequila Shot is actually Quest Wagon over on Instagram, and he makes his own models. He's actually the one who provided the model for that tribal elf I worked on a while back. Oh, and I forgot to actually, let me do that now. I'll give Swamp Crabs a shout out, because Swamp Crabs is actually a streamer as well. Shout. Alright, I'll let him in. I guess maybe he left. But yeah, if you get the chance, check out Swapcraft's channel. He's actually a very good painter. I think I might need to clean up the brush a bit. The paint is starting to cake on. WordDoc says, is this a commission piece or a personal use piece? It is a personal use piece. It's for my Maledictor's Warband, which is my Tzeentch inspired warband of Chaos Space Marine, who are not Thousand Sons. This is the leader, Vilek the Possessed. Kitbash from Village the Curseling. And we have here on my left hand, it's Balthos, the heavy gunner. Sorry, I gotta keep working on that leather. But I'll actually start working on a commission piece soon. One of you lovely varlets has commissioned me. So I'm actually eager to get started. So I'm hoping to finish this guy today. So we can get cracking on his model. WordDoc says, love me some original lore character kit bashes. I have a kit bash marshal from my crusade named Raoul Furyheart. Looking at custom stories to models is why this heart still beats. Yeah, I love kit bashing. That's why you don't see me paint a lot of Mechanicus, because as much as I love Mechanicus, they're my favorite army, I love kit bashing more. So I love doing the conversions. And because I like the Mechanicus as they are, I haven't thought of a really good idea for a Mechanicus that I would love to just knock out. Other than my Mechanicus Inquisitor, which you've all seen already. And if you haven't, please check out my YouTube channel at Rosario's Art, where I have posted all my old streams. And WordDoc says it's a struggle. Yeah, it most definitely is. I have so many ideas of things that I want to get cracking on that I feel like I never have enough time. All right, and now for extreme highlights. gonna be using Screaming Skull. And we're gonna stay with the same brush, mic with 00 Murray. I feel like a lot of my paints are starting to congeal. Not good. Gonna per masses, I have returned, and with sushi. Well, buen provecho. Enjoy your sushi. And we have Lord Inquisitor Callahan saying, "Solve Interrogator. How goes it, Lord Inquisitor? How you been?" Alright, I think we are done with all the leather. Let's get a little duster. There we go. Okay, now we still have all the cabling on the gun. And the base. Those are the two things left. Let me just double check, make sure. Yeah, those are the only two things left. So, I'm gonna start with some Corvus Black. And Lord Inquisitor Callahan says fair, and I wouldn't be lying if I said that I want to put a bolt round in the next Administratum cleric to dump useless pipwork on my desk. You gotta get yourself a good Administratum agent. Somebody who can help you with all that red tape. Lady Inquisitor Markham is actually looking into that. So I stayed with the same brush. I'm still using my quintuple zero Marie. And already off to the races. That way it's looking a million times better. Okay, so now that we're done with Corvus Black, we need to start adding some Ash and Gray. Wardog Hero says, do you only use GW paints? Yes, but only because of the only ones I have ever used. I've never tried to use any of the other paints available. Mostly because, you know, I started with GW paints. And so far, they've been pretty good. I have no idea what other paints, how they would work. And GW also had this neat little color guide, which is what I started using to figure out color schemes and what paints I needed to buy for the effects I was going for. Tequila Shot says, I've always liked Vallejo paints. Yeah, I've heard good things about Vallejo. And I would like to try at some point other paints, but like War Dog says later on, it says, that's fair, use what you're comfortable with, right? Yep, exactly. I'm comfortable with GW paints, so yeah, that's what I stick with. And War Dog says, if it ain't broke, don't fix. Exactly. Got It Per Man says, okay, so real story. When I was visiting the old worker at the old people's house and nursing home, I saw a person dressed as a member of Team Rocket going through a metal detector, and in my mind, I was just shouting, stop that guy. If you know, you know. I mean, I know Team Rocket, I know the guy from Team Rocket, and obviously they're usually bad guys, but I don't know if there's any particular event you're referring to. But that's pretty funny, seeing somebody dressed as Team Rocket. Alright, next up. Mechanica Standard Gray. War Dog says I have a problem. I like collecting too many paints. See, I have the problem with minis, not paints. War Dog says, at this rate, I might as well start eating some to make room for more. And GK Minix says, how many of these guys are you going to paint? I got one more, and then I have all the cultists. Which I believe there's like about 8 of them. But those cultists I plan to paint exactly like out of the box, because I really like the color scheme that those cultists have. So there's not gonna be any kind of, you know, my own take on them. Gadaber Man says it's a meme around the Pokemon fans that Team Rocket is hiding something on them, and with goofy Looney Tunes logic, just pull out of their pants, or I don't know, it's been about 16 years since I last touched Pokemon. Alright. I think we are about that time. We're gonna use some Celestine Gray here. Wardog says, okay. Oh, what brush are you using? It's holding its point really, really nicely. This is my trusty Quintuple Zero Marie. I have a bunch of these that were gifted to me by Lady Inquisitor Marco. And they're definitely my favorite to use, especially for this process. Like I said, I'm using Celestial Gray. Celestial Gray. Wardog says my brushes halfway through a session start losing their points and it's rough. Thank you for sharing. Hey, my pleasure. I always try to make sure to spread the knowledge, spread the word, especially if you're trying to follow along with what I'm doing. I mean, it only makes sense to make sure that you are thoroughly informed on my process. Okay, now that we're done there, I want to do some very particular colors for those cables. you know, the cables at the bottom, I want to make sure that they look like this thing has been ripped off of a hinge. But that's what it looks like. So I want to add some various colorful colors for those cables there. So I'll start with some Mephiston red. Still using the same brush, still using my quintuple zoom Marie. Luke, our LPE look says, love the bash. That's a Death Guard head, right? Have you tried the true metallic metals from Vallejo? They have this popping blue that goes great on my Tzeentch stuff. I have not tried any Vallejo paints. I would like to try them at some point. But as of now, I've been mostly sticking with the Citadel paints, or as they're called now, Warhammer paints. But welcome, Luke. You're definitely a new commenter, so hope you're having a good time. I'm Interrogator Rosarios at Assetimilicus Marcum of the Order Hereticus, and I'm currently painting my Tzeentch Marine. Thank you for swinging by. What got you interested in checking out my stream? But yeah, my preferred way of painting, if I can afford to do it, is non-metallic metal. I definitely want to get better at this technique, and I feel like I'm showing some signs of improvement. Alright, so next up, we need some yellow. So I'm gonna go with Aerial Yellow. Luke says, I subbed a while ago. I just live in Korea and time zones don't match, but watch replays. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you very much. And yeah, unfortunately, time zones can be a bit of a pain. War Dog says, one day I'll stop trying to be a little B word and try to do some non-metallic metal. A little female dog. There we go. Alright. And now we need the last color. I'm gonna go with my Warpstone Glow. And Game Nations, I personally prefer using metallics despite wanting to try non-metallic metal. If done correctly, it can look good. Yeah, that's why. It's like, metallics always look pretty good, but non-metallics can look amazing. Word dog says, "Yo, it's swearing off the table. I'll cut it out since you like reading it." No, you can swear as much as you like. I do not mind swearing. I just don't. I tried myself not to swear. Though I don't like curbing anybody's speech. And there we go. We got red, yellow, and green. So it definitely looks like he pulled this off, and now the cable's are frayed, and whatever used to be stuck to is gone. Gotta promises, well, gotta do some, well, got to done with some models for my guard army. The photos in the area where I usually send them. Alright. Since I am currently in between paints at the moment, we are about to start working on the base. Let's go ahead and check out what the God Emperor has been working on. Nope, we're all at tab. I need to find it. Discord. Alright, we're gonna close that because I've realized that I can't do both at the same time, so I'm gonna close this out. Oh, hold on, I gotta actually open it up first. Properties. There we go. And there it is. And these are the God Emperor's guardsmen. Yeah, they actually look really nice. I like how you did all the heavy artillery. Looks really good. And Game Maniac says, have I mentioned previously that I was at a game store out in the middle of nowhere? They were selling official Trench Crusade, which baffled me because my local game store, which is in a major city, doesn't have Trench Crusade. Maybe they just haven't heard of it, or maybe just gotten into it. But I have heard that they do sell to at least their main boxes. You know, the ones with the Prussians. I think they do sell those outside of their website. So, but that's really cool that they got them. And Bold W Bacon 701 saying cool. How you doing, Bold W Bacon? I am Interrogator Rosard US at Tzeentch welcome of the Order Hereticus, and welcome to the Cute Paint Minis. I'm currently painting my Tzeentch Marine. What brings you by? Okay, let me bring up my camera just so that I can see things that I'm doing. Okay, one more thing I want to do is I have what looks like this little like radiator thing at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it here. I want to paint that radiator. And I want to give it sort of a glowing effect. I'll use the same glowing effect as the mouth of that skull and the glowing sigil. But I will be muting it a little bit. So a little bit more reddish than glowing orange. So we're gonna stick with, where's my Rhinox hide? Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna start with Rhinox hide. Game Mini Access couldn't figure out what his bases needed because I felt like something was missing, realized they need to dry brush them. Well, it's not popping up on my camera overall. Very good though. Here, let me pull it back up just so that people can see what you're talking about. Oh, did I close it already? I think I closed it already. I think he did some dry brushing, but he could probably do a little bit more. And Rex gets as far as saying hello, hello. How you doing, Rex? How you been? And we have Infernal Low, 18 saying, how much did it cost? How much did what cost? And welcome, welcome. I am Terragero Rosarimas at Sati Millennium Inquisitor Markham of the Order Hernicus. And welcome to the Cute and Painted Minis. Thank you for swinging by. What got you interested in checking out the stream? If you don't mind me asking, I'm always curious. I always appreciate the views, and I never like taking anything for granted. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the brown, the Rhinox hide on that radiator. And Gotaper Man is replying to Game Maniac says, yeah, because in a local game store that occasionally does sell it, but it was the Prussian Stormtroopers. Okay, that's what I figured they would be. Because I think that's the only set they currently have available. I know that they're bringing out that other one, which is like the starter set with the two warbands, but I don't know that's out yet. Rescue Safar says, busy and trying to stay dry. The weather's fighting me about it. Infernal says the set of Chaos Space Marines I can't remember how much the whole thing cost me because it's all different kit bashes that I've put together. Like this model is like 3 separate pieces. We have Village to Cursling, we have the arm and well, primarily the full arm and plasma pistol of the Tempestus Scions, and I have the backpack of the Thousand Suns on the back. All of those costing several tens of dollars. And then for this one, we have the regular Chaos Space Marine set with a head from the Death Guard, so that's 2 different sets right there. And the chest being from the Age of Sigmar Corn Berserkers. Luke miraba la foto de Insta de dónde es el pecho. Pues como dije ahora mismo, es de los Corn Berserkers de Age of Sigmar. Luke asks, I was looking at the photo on Insta, where is the chest from? And I was just reminding, or at least repeating what I said earlier, which is the chest piece is actually from the Corn Berserkers from Age of Sigmar. And Thaddeus Clanton says, there are sites in Reddit where you can buy/swap bits without having to buy the whole model set. Yes, there are. I've used a few for those. For the chest piece, this one I definitely use that site. I use Bitsbox. Bitsbox with a Z at the end. No, Bits, yeah, B-I-T-Z box. Yeah. And for also the Thousand Sun pieces, like the left pauldron right there. And for the Thousand Suns backpack on this guy too. But for the main model, I bought the whole box of the Chaos Space Marines. And for him, I bought obviously the whole model. And for the Tempest Scion, I also bought the whole box for that. I had this plasma pistol left over, so I figured, oh, why not? Let me go ahead and try to use it. So I chopped off the rest of the arm and just kept the sort of van brace that he's got there, and chopped off the arm that originally Village had, and that's what made this piece come to life. Okay, so next up we'll be using some Mephiston Red. Oh no, hold on, some Corn Red first. And God Emperor Man says, yeah, mini swap. And then the God Emperor Man says, is an exam. Luke says, at our local LGS, people donate their sprues with bits, and they have this claw machine full of Ziploc bags that are full of bits. The claw is rigged and you always get stuff. Also free. Very nice. That's actually really cool. I've seen some LGSs that have like a little bits box where you can just buy pieces individually. They're like several cents. But usually it's stuff that you don't really care to grab. The Lord Guzurkaihan says, you mean example? I guess he's replying to the God Emperor. No, right now I'm just trying to get into the crevices of it. God Emperor Man says, yeah, I meant to say, speaking too fast, that TTS didn't pick it up. Now we're gonna go with Mephiston Red. Alright, it's looking like it's having a nice glow now. And the last color I'll be using is Evil Sun's Scarlet. Hopefully that'll give us the glow effect that I'm going for. Because again, I don't want it to be too bright. We already have the brightness on the other pieces. I just want it to look like it's heating up. So, but not fully heated up. Lotukuzer Galayan says, fair point. Well, I'm gonna be in the background, attempting to fill those work out. Yeah, like I said, get yourself an administratum drone. Lady Marco might have found herself a really good one. Looks like I might need to use a different color. I thought I might be done with that Evil Suns, but nope. We gotta have at least one very bright spot. So I'm gonna take some Fire Dragon Bright. Hopefully I can close this. Probably congealing because they won't close properly. Alright, I'm gonna try to keep it very light. Alright, and I think with that, we are done. So all that's left now is the base. All your base. All your base are belong to us. Where is my little cap for this? That's just it. It feels like it's too big. I don't know, I guess it's just right. Alright, for this I need a big brush. Where is my big brush? Reds gets as far as says, looks good. Thank you, thank you! Pretty sure I had one here. That wouldn't mind destroying. Well, I guess we're using this one. We're using my size 6 Tzeentch. Rest gets far says looks good. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Alright, so for this, I'm gonna need one of my technical paints. So this one, it'll be, I guess, my Agrelin Badland. They were no longer carrying a Strickland Mud, so I'll be trying this one. And let's start from the back. But you remember so many rows. Fortunately, I just caked on a bunch of that on the leg there. Not happy about that at all, but we'll have to live and let live, I guess. For that. Brace Sephora says he has been trucking through mud and dirt. That's why his boots are dirty. Yeah, exactly. Mini says that's why I don't put my minis on until the basing is done. Here's one thing you should learn about me, Game Maniac. I like to make things difficult for myself. Luke says, speed 10 minutes painting the trim of the boots of my sand, then dump the mud on it while basing and hide it. Works every time. Exactly. Yeah, Luke. I don't think I've asked you this since you haven't been around, at least for a lot of these. But what's your favorite army? And what got you into the hobby? Luke says, oh, I love chaos. Pandemic got me. 2020 COVID in Korea, 100% lockdown. Got into chaos and now I'm in deep. Currently drinking the corn juice. Ooh. Well, corn actually has some really nice models. I especially like the Age of Sigmar ones. I feel like if I ever start painting some Age of Sigmar, I would definitely want to paint some Age of Sigmar corn berserkers. They have some really good sculpts. I'm gonna use a smaller brush because there's a little bit of thing in the back that's giving me some trouble, so I'll switch into my size 3 grabby. Right now, just trying to use some water to dilute some of it so I can move it around. And Leplook says, I'm like 20,000 points deep of chaos, 2 Lords of Skulls, and currently repainting Bellicourt. Wow. If you got any pictures, you're gonna have to let me know. I would love to see that. And Leplook says, and kitbash a Kragnos from Sigmar into a Bloodthirster, while I do Night Lords for CSM. Okay. Sounds like you have a very fun collection.
New donation from Luke.
Why not? Oh, thank you very much for the donation, Luke. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Luke, and thank you very much, Mask, because I'm not sure who Mask was, but for the donations, I am incredibly grateful. Let's see if we can actually do something for you guys. We're gonna play a little bit of music for you. Alright, so right now we are playing the waiting game. But we're pretty much done with this guy. I'll probably skip out on the rest of the painting of the base, because we probably won't have enough time for all that tonight. But I'm not a big base painter. I usually get pretty bored with bases. But I want to show you what we'll be working on next week, and maybe some streams in between. I'm gonna try to knock out as much as I can of this, because this is this is actually a commission that one of our lovely followers. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show it on stream. I'll be painting this bad boy. This is the knob with the banner. So it'll be my first ever orc. And that is saying, woo, yeah. It is a beautiful model. And for the first time ever, I'm going to try to do some freehand. So I hope I do not disappoint, because I've never done freehand before. But I know that the commissioner wanted some freehand on that banner. So fingers crossed that I can actually pull this off. Game Medic says at this angle, looks like his neck is missing. Now he's just very hunched over. So he does have a neck. There it is. And just so you're aware, I did some priming on it with Xandri Dust as a base, and I gave it a highlight of Wraithbone. But yeah, I really hope to do this model justice. Wish me the best of luck. Lap Luke says, banners are a vibe. I tend to use contrast on them. And then Titus says, fancy, is that for speed/contrast paints? I'm guessing you're asking Lep Luke. I don't know what paints I'm gonna use yet. I know for sure that I plan to do this, like I said, freehand. I know the base colors that the commissioner asked for, so I'm gonna try to do my best to give him a good model. Let me see if I have here the model he sent me as an example. This is one of his boys. So he's got some red pants, some black armor, and a white, or I said bone white, or cream shirt. So we're gonna have to keep that in mind. Then he's very green. He used a very vivid green for his skin. So we're gonna try to replicate that. Lep Luke says, for photos I have bad, but we'll try. Haha. Tomorrow a friend and I are going to paint a ton locally for a charity. We'll try to take photos. Woo, wow, yeah, please take photos. I would love to see that. Alright, let's see. It looks like it's still wet, so I still can't add any contrast on this. But I guess while I'm waiting around, could probably try to start painting a little bit of this guy. Let me look up my references here real quick. I think I'm gonna start just trying with the banner. I figured I gotta get that banner right, so start there and then work my way to the model. Okay, and just so you guys are aware, the commissioner for the model is actually our very own Thaddeus Clanton. Let me give him a shout out here real quick. And Taya says, no, I don't need a shout out. Okay, I won't give you a shout out. Just so people knew that you did it. You're the one who commissioned it. But yes, it was Thaddeus who commissioned it. And Thaddeus says, I don't do that stuff, lol. Okay. Alright, but yeah, just want to make sure people know that you are the water for the next few streams. Alright, but yeah, going back to my... Here we go. So we're gonna start with some corn red. And I'm gonna use my size 3 grabbing. So we gotta get a nice red circle on that banner. And many says, might want to move the blue guy before starting. Yeah, I figured I could do it, but good idea. Thaddeus says, otherwise the marine might get covered in blood. Yeah. Right now he's Japanese knob. Daria says, I was just thinking that. I'm just looking at the reference you gave me and trying to see how big the face on that evil sun symbol should be. I feel like maybe there should be good enough. Because we want to make sure that we get those flames on the side. So I think, and that's where we're going to leave things for right now. That's probably about as big as the face is going to be. And then after that, I will outline it with the black and white as far as the flames around it. But at least we got started, and we have the Japanese orc. Thinking about it though, if the orcs, our evil sons, have a sun on their banner, they're technically already Japanese orcs, because the Japanese flag is the sun. Thaddeus says, I don't know, looks pretty good to me. I trust your judgment and give you artistic license to make changes. Anyway, I'll try to get as close as I can to that reference as possible. So yeah, that is it for today. Looks like the base for this still needs to dry. So I'll probably paint the rest of the base off camera. And then post the completed model once I'm done there, and show you guys the end results. And Luke says to use airbrush to make flames that cut squiggly fire-shaped bits and do spray like stencil style. No, I don't have an airbrush, and I really do enjoy using actual brushes, so that's why I haven't pulled the trigger on that. But maybe one day I will. But yeah, if you like what I do and would like to support like Luke and Mast earlier, then please consider subscribing to my Twitch channel or donate to my Ko-Fi at Rosario's Heart. Or you miss an episode, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is also called Rosario's Heart. Remember that if you'd like to commission me to paint a miniature for you, just like Thaddeus Clanton, then please hit me up on Instagram over at Rosario's Art. And yeah, before we go, let's see who we can raid. let's say Squeakaboop is still painting her very first Skaven. So let's go ahead and raid her. Well, she's progressing so far. But yeah, varlets, I have been interrogated Rosarius at Satum Liticus and Markham Autoreticus, and thank you all very much for coming. And I'll be signing out from the Grimdark future. Bye bye, and take care.